Have you ever pondered the question, can Darwinism explain everything in biology? Well, the discovery and research on bioelectric fields have introduced a new layer of complexity that challenges this conventional wisdom. Today, we delve into this fascinating world of bioelectric fields and their implications on our understanding of life. In 2011, a startling revelation was made. In a 2011 article titled, "The Face of a Frog, Time-lapse video reveals never-before-seen bioelectric pattern," it is stated, when a frog embryo is just developing, before it gets a face, a pattern for that face lights up on the surface of the embryo. During the early stages of a frog's development, before it even begins to form a face, a pattern for that face illuminates on the surface of the embryo. This discovery left Professor Dani Adams, a biology expert, in awe. She stated, "I would never have predicted anything like it. It's a jaw-dropper." And she also stated, "Unlike anything I had ever seen. I was completely blown away." But why such a reaction? What makes this finding so remarkable? The answer lies in the bioelectric field. This field involves information that exists outside of DNA. As Laura Vandenberg, lead author on the paper, stated, "The finding suggests that what we thought about how cells know what to make is incomplete." In the Pfizer report, she further stated, "Our research shows that the electrical state of a cell is fundamental to development. Bioelectrical signaling appears to regulate a sequence of events, not just one. Developmental biologists are used to thinking of sequences in which a gene produces a protein product that in turn ultimately leads to development of an eye or a mouth. But our work suggests that something else, a bioelectrical signal, is required before that can happen." This was further emphasized by Professor of Biology Michael Levin in 2014 in an article titled, "Endogenous Bioelectrical Networks Store Non-Genetic Patterning Information During Development and Regeneration." In that article, Professor Michael Levin stated, "The data clearly indicate that bioelectric signaling is an autonomous layer of control not reducible to a biochemical or genetic account of cell state." Fast forward to 2017, in an article titled, "The Bioelectric Code, an Ancient Computational Medium for Dynamic Control of Growth and Form," it was stated, "What determines large-scale anatomy? DNA does not directly specify geometrical arrangements of tissues and organs, and a process of encoding and decoding for morphogenesis is required." As well, in an interview with Casey Luskin, Dr. Jonathan Wells also pointed out that this bioelectric field involves information that is outside of the DNA. Although the DNA specifies the proteins found in the ion channels to some extent, the locations of these channels on the membrane are not determined by the DNA. In fact, it has also been discovered that altering the bioelectric field, without altering the underlying molecules, affects the three-dimensional shape of the developing embryo. For instance, in frog embryos, setting other somatic cells to the eye-specific voltage range resulted in the formation of eyes in unusual locations. So, where does this leave Darwinism? Stephen Meyer encapsulated the falsification of Darwinian presuppositions quite succinctly. He stated, "Body plan morphogenesis, as it is called, depends upon information that is not encoded on DNA, which means you can mutate DNA indefinitely, 80 million years, 100 million years, till the cows come home. It doesn't matter, because in the best case you are just going to find a new protein someplace out there in that vast combinatorial sequence space. You are not, by mutating DNA alone, going to generate higher-order structures that are necessary to building a body plan." So what we can conclude from that is that the neo-Darwinian mechanism is grossly inadequate to explain the origin of information necessary to build new genes and proteins, and it is also grossly inadequate to explain the origination of novel biological form. To summarize, the discovery of bioelectric fields has introduced a new dimension to our understanding of life. It has challenged the neo-Darwinian view of life by presenting a mechanism that operates outside the realm of DNA. This discovery has shown that the formation of biological form is a more complex process than previously thought, involving not just DNA, but also bioelectric fields. As we continue to explore this fascinating area of biology, one thing is clear: there's much more to life than what Darwinism can possibly explain.